Alright, so I'm gonna just record this because I don't want to forget it. So I had this dream, and I do feel like it's from the Lord. Um, I feel like God gives us dreams a lot. Maybe we just don't really pay attention to them and don't record them or write them down. And I'm probably definitely guilty of that, but I've been going through a lot of just battling in my walk with Him for a long time. And it's been tough, as it has been for a lot of people. And basically, in this dream, I felt like it happened, like the dream kind of happened twice. Like I had the dream and then it like replayed, and that's why I feel like it's from God. So in the first part of the dream, I had a whole bunch of cash on me, and I was at this restaurant trying to eat, and the money was like old money and new money. So it's like I had old money and new money mixed together, and I was trying to eat at the restaurant, and I was ordering food, and this assistant manager, I knew he was assistant manager, he had walked by, and he was giving me a hard time. He was just being really nasty towards me and giving me dirty looks and saying things like under his breath about me. Like I knew he didn't like me, and he was mad because I had money. That's what it seemed like. And so I felt like I'm already starting to forget. So I felt like that was the first dream that he was giving me a tough time with the money or whatever, and saying things and just being nasty towards me. And then it felt like the dream replayed to where I'm back at the same restaurant, and I'm trying to spend the money, and I'm ordering food, and it's like I'm ordering the food like where I'm paying for it up front, which I actually do that sometimes. I actually just did that last week, where I went to a buffet and I walked in and said, "How much is it?" And they're like, "Yeah." And I'm just like, "Well, here's this, and the tips included, and I'm just gonna eat and leave." So it's not unheard of for me to do something like that. But so I'm at this restaurant, and I'm trying to pay, and then the assistant manager walks by, and he like grabs my money and was like, "We can't take this, you need to leave." And I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I grab my money back, and I'm showing him, I'm like, "This is money, bro. Like you can still use this money. There's nothing wrong with the money. It's older money, but it's still legal to use. It's not like it's that old. You know what I mean? It's older, but it's still legal, and you can still use the money." And he's giving me a problem with it, and there's people all around, right? And there's this one guy, he's got like a drink in his hand. I don't know what he's drinking, but he's standing like right by the kiosk where the host stands behind or whatever, like the little stand that they stand behind or whatever. And obviously, I guess there's like a cash register. That's where you pay when you're leaving or coming in or whatever. And I didn't have a feeling that I had already ate. Like I had a feeling like I'm paying for this food up front or whatever. And the restaurant's packed, right? So like it's super, super busy. And he's basically kicking me out of the restaurant and telling me that my money's no good. And then the actual manager walks by, and I grab him, and I'm telling him what's going on. You know what I'm saying? And he's like, yeah, it's okay. We can take it. We can take the money or whatever. And I'm like, bro, this is the second time, like, that this has happened to me. And, I'm like, technically, this is discrimination. You guys are discriminating against me. Or I'm like, that guy's discriminating against me. You know what I mean? Because he's giving me a hard time or whatever. And he seems frustrated with the assistant manager. He doesn't seem frustrated with me, but he's upset. And then he kind of walks away, maybe to go talk to the guy or whatever. And there's another guy there, and he reaches out of he pulls out of his. You know how like the undercover FBI agents in the movies or whatever, they'll like pull out like it's not like a chain, but it's like a silver beaded like necklace, and at the end of it's got like the FBI thing on it or whatever, the badge attached to it, but it looks like a business card type of thing. So he pulls that out, and I can see that he's something. I don't know what he is exactly, but he's undercover something. And I'm like, oh dang. And I'm like, you seen this whole thing? And he's like, yeah. He's like, I seen that. And I'm like, can they do that? And I'm like, that's crazy. Like they dude's telling me that my money's no good and that I can't be here or whatever. And he's like, nah. He's like, you right, that's illegal. He's like, they're discriminating against you. He's like, as a matter of fact, shut this whole thing down. And he's telling me that, but I don't work there or nothing. So I go like walk around the corner, and I see the head honcho, like the manager or the owner. And I'm like, yo, he should have shut the whole I'm like, this dude here should have shut the whole restaurant down. And so they do it, right? So like all the lights get cut, everybody gets mad because everybody's celebrating, they're eating, like everybody's out to eat, like everybody's having a good time. And I kind of feel bad, you know what I mean? Because it kind of feels like it's my fault, but then again, I really didn't do nothing. And then the manager comes back over, the owner. He's like, let me see that money again. And I pull out some money, and I know that this second trip there, I don't have as much money as I did the first time I came. So the first time I came, like I had a lot more money. Like I knew that I was like wealthy. And it just felt like I was supposed to be like a rich guy, even though I'm not rich in real life. And actually I kind of broke down to God the other day, because I was just thinking about like all these things that I've done in my life that I haven't been successful at, and like when one thing didn't work, I tried another thing, and like I just tried so many different businesses. And it's like I was telling my aunt, because people in this physical world, they chop it up to you just not, something's wrong with you if you're not successful. And I've known for a long time that I've been under a curse. Like I know I've been under a curse, because things don't make sense when you do things. If you're following step by step, like procedures and formulas and instructions to do things the way successful billionaires and millionaires have done it, and you're doing everything, you're checking all the boxes, you're doing everything the exact same way that they did it, and you're not successful. So for me, I figured it out a while ago that it was a curse, and I still never gave up. You know what I mean? I still kept trying. And I mean, yeah, I actually did give up a couple times, but then, after like a couple months, I came back to it or whatever. But I started noticing as I started getting older that, every time that I failed, the time between starting over again, those time periods started taking a little bit longer. And like the breakdowns in between um, the frustration and wanting to give up, those things became stronger and stronger and stronger to where it just turned to like anger and rage. Because the thing is, there are formulas in life to doing things, and then there's also things that God expects of you. And I knew that I'm talking to God like, God, not only am I doing everything that I'm supposed to do to be successful in this world, I'm doing everything that you're asking me to do. And I know 1000% these people that are successful have not checked the boxes with you. They're not going through this self-examination. They're not going through correcting their walk with you. And I'm doing that. I'm doing that. And I'm like, there's also people that are Christians that are super wealthy and super successful, you know what I'm saying, that are doing that, and you've blessed them. And I'm talking about fasting, praying, I'm talking about abstaining, I'm talking about just like super strict obedience, to where even some pastors are telling you, oh, that's works, when you know that it's not works. Like, you just know that's what's expected of you. Because I hate when they say that. I hate it so much. Like, oh, you can't be perfect, and you know what I mean? Like, that's works-based salvation. It's like, what part of the Bible don't you understand when it says, be ye perfect like your Father in heaven is perfect, be ye holy like your Father in heaven is holy? Like, these are commandments. You know what I mean? This is, you can, willful disobedience, you can lose your salvation for that, you know? And I willfully disobeyed and willfully rebelled because I was, not because I wanted to be in sin. I absolutely don't even care about that sin as far as lust and pornography. I just didn't care about it because I know that I was so successful not being in that sin for such a long time. I went back to it because I wanted to rebel, and I was begging God that I didn't want to exist. That I'm yelling at him like, you're forcing me to exist against my will. You're a bully. This is not free will. You're not giving me free will if you're forcing me to exist. Like, these were the types of things that I was telling God. So I knew when I did that, I was doing that to willfully be disobedient, where I was telling him, I don't care. Send me to hell. Like, I'm fighting with him. Like, those are the types of breakdowns that I had, you know what I mean? There was just no need for it. There was no reason to be rebellious except just to be rebellious. Because people say, oh, you know, that's pride, and, you know, it's this, and that. And, like, I knew I was delivered of it. You know, like, I was delivered of it like 100 times over and over and over again. Because I just don't care. You know what I mean? Like, in my mind, I was like, you know, these women that lead men to temptation, they're whores. That's whoredom. Like, they know what they're doing. They want to do that. That's the whole gimmick, you know? Like, oh, are you going to buy my content? Are you going to buy my content? Send me money. Here's my Cash App. Like, they know what they're doing. They're making a business out of it. And they're super, super evil and nasty. You know, it's not true love. It's not like affection. You know, and when I would fall down that path, that sin, Satan would always say, it's not good for man to be alone. That was the thing he would whisper in my head. And not only would he tell me that, but women would tell me that. Women I would talk to would say that. It's not good for man to be alone. None of us would be here if you didn't have sex. You know what I mean? So, and I don't care. Like, I don't want to bring anybody into this world. This world is garbage. Anyway, so the whole thing of this dream is when the manager comes back to look at the money, I'm going through some money, and there was like $300 bills, right? And when we're going through the money, I'm like, man, I didn't have as much money as I did the first time I came here. Like, when the first time I went there, I was like stupid wealthy, like millionaire. type status. And then this time it was just like thousands or whatever that I had on me. And there was three of them that there was three of the let me look this up because this was important, because I didn't even know what it meant. But there was three of the $100 bills on it, and it said, "This is a promissory note. You shouldn't even be looking at it. This is a promissory note. You shouldn't even be looking at it. This is a promissory note. You shouldn't even be looking at it." And then when the manager seen that, he's like, "What?" He's like, "Man, here, take this." He's like, "Don't even have that on you." He's like, "Hide that." And I'm just like, so I'm waking, like, I think I go to talk to the dude that's told me to tell them to shut down the restaurant or whatever. Oh yeah, I forgot to say this. This one Mexican dude was coming out from the kitchen. I'm Hispanic, by the way. But he's walking out of the kitchen, and mind you, like, my whole life I'm Hispanic, but I don't speak Spanish. I've always had, I never felt fit in anywhere, because of that, because I never spoke Spanish, because I'm American. My parents were from, different countries, but from Latin countries, but and they spoke Spanish, but I didn't know my mom. And even though I knew my dad, he was super detached and distant from me my whole life. So even though I lived with him, and I moved out when I was like 15 years old, so I didn't really have much of a relationship with him until the very end of his life. I moved in with him after my divorce and tried to build a relationship with him. And I even told him, like, I'd like to use this time while I'm here getting on my feet to try to rebuild repair a relationship, because he was trying to kick me out. Like, you need to go, you need to go, you need to go. And I snapped on him one day, and I'm like, have you ever thought that God put us in this situation to try to repair our relationship, and you just want to get rid of me again? And that kind of shut him up a little bit. And the crazy thing is, he ended up dying like within less than a year. So like, I moved in with him, and within that year he ended up dying. So, but yeah, actually it was like a little over a year, because I moved in with him at the end of 2016, December 2016, and I moved out December 2017. So yeah, it was. But he even though I moved out, he ended up dying March 2018. So, but anyway, a Mexican dude's walking out, and he's speaking in Spanish, but you could tell he's like cussing me out. You hear him like "pinche tu madre" and like whatever, whatever he was saying. Sorry, I know that's cussing. Forgive me, Lord, in Jesus' name. Forgive me, Yahuwah, in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. Better, right? But so yeah, he's giving me dirty looks, and it's like, I kind of swell up on a little, like shut up, you know what I mean? Like, I'll knock you out. It's crazy, because it's just like, I'm a Christian, but I'm super flawed, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not perfect and never have been. And that's what makes this walk so difficult, because it's like I'm walking on eggshells, because every little reaction or emotional outburst that I've had since I've been on this walk, which we're coming up on 10 years, really. I mean, I've been a Christian since I was like, when I first became a Christian, it was at my friend Sam Dotery's house in Worthington. I was playing with him. He was this big kid with red hair, and we were like wrestling around in his room or something, and I was like jumping on his bed, and then I was cussing, and his mom said, "Sam," and we came downstairs, and she's like, do you know who Jesus is? And I'm like, no. And she's like, all right, repeat this after me. And I said the sinner's prayer right there. It's only like 8 years old. But I know the minute that I said that prayer, my life has never been the same, because my life became instantly difficult. Like, not long after that, I tried to hang myself at like 8 years old. And now I look at kids that's like 8 years old and I'm like, I can't believe, I could never imagine a kid that young trying to kill himself. I'm sure there's probably many stories about that in the world, but in my life, you know what I mean? So, yeah, he's saying crazy stuff to me or whatever, and I kind of like swole up on him, like, what's up, bro? You know what I mean? And he walk away complaining. He's mad because they couldn't finish working, you know what I mean? And they're blaming it on me, because I'm sure the assistant manager, who was also Hispanic, was talking about me, and the actual owner was a white dude, Caucasian guy. So and he actually, I can't even think of this actor's name that he was in the dream. I'll have to try to look it up, but not like it don't matter at this point. But anyways, I didn't know what a promissory note was, and like I said, I told the manager, and he was like, get rid of this, because I guess somebody else was coming, like backup for whoever that undercover dude was there, which I don't know what he could have been, ATF, FBI, something. But he was like, how crazy is it that I'm actually here witnessing this thing? You know, he's like, you got so lucky that I even seen this, because if you ever tried to go and tell somebody that this happened or whatever, like, you would not have any, nothing would have happened, you know, because unless you actually had concrete proof. He was like, so you're lucky that I'm here and I actually witnessed it. And he's like, and we're going to take care of you. So I looked up promissory note, and on the promissory, they said a promissory note is a written, legally binding legal document where one party promises in writing to pay a determined sum of money to another, either on demand or at a specific future date. It functions essentially as a formal, enforceable IOU, outlining the loan amount, interest rate, and repayment schedule. And then it goes on to say more things. But soon as I read that, I knew that was from God. I knew it was from God. So, I don't know. You know, because when I woke up, I'm like, God, I don't know what this means. I don't know what this means. Please give me the definition. I have no idea what this dream means. And the only thing I think of as the dream started fading was to hurry up and look up what a promissory note was. And I just scrolled down, because it says like key components, principal, interest rate, repayment schedule, common type, secured, unsecured, master, promissory note, and then it says where they used, mortgages, personal and family loans. And I don't know. Well, I don't know what that means, but as soon as I seen personal and family, I'm like, well, God is my dad. Technically, he's our father. Yahuwah is our father. You know. And another thing is, I always see 144, 144, 144, 144. Like, for some reason, I'll always look right at the clock when it's 144, or I'll see a combination of things like 414 or, you know, 441, but I'm always seeing 144, 144. And I slave away at my job here every day in an endless loop. And I'm just like, what the heck am I here for? Because I've never been successful in anything. Like, I've lived my life as a complete failure. And I try to do a lot of things, like I author books, and I've made so much music. I probably got more music than your favorite artist. Like, I literally probably have more music than your favorite artist. The only reason I might not is because I do everything by myself. So your favorite artists is go to $1 million studios and have producers and engineers that mix and master and edit and videographers and people that are shooting the videos and the graphic designers and the stylist and wardrobe, and you know what I mean? And so that would be the only reason why anybody might have a one up on me. But I know I personally got more music than anybody I actually know personally that makes music. But and I try to upload most of it on my Free Age Music Group channel, which I've realized that I've been shadow banned because I'll go to other people's phones and I'll search Free Age Music Group on YouTube and none of my music pops up. Only if I put Ilion next to it. So if I type in Free Age Music Group, then I type in AEILEON, and then I even noticed too where if I have other YouTube channels and I'll subscribe to it and I'll like a video, it doesn't show up because I got like 10 Gmail accounts, so I can practice. I'm like, well, I know I can give this video 10 likes, and I can give this video 10 likes, and I can give this channel 10 subscriptions and this one 10 subscriptions, and then I'll do it. Right, I'll spend 10 minutes logging in and out of each account, switching accounts to try to do it. And then like a couple days go by and it's gone. So I know something's going on, right? Like, that to me just proves my whole theory of being cursed, you know? Because I've noticed that pattern with everything I do in life, you know what I mean? Like, I notice it with my bank account. I noticed when I get paid, this was supposed to get deposited into my bank account and it's not there. I notice I'll pay my car payment. You know, I'll put like $100 down on my car payment, and then the next day, it's, even though the money came out of my bank account and I paid my car note, I still owe that amount or more. Like, this has been my life. My whole life has been like this. You know, and it's like you can call and complain, threaten the car, the people that loaned the lenders, and because you're paying back the lenders, right? I call and complain at the bank. Like, nobody can ever figure anything out, and it's just like it's just demonic, man. It's just demonic. So I don't know. I probably will die before I get paid back by God, but you know, I guess I'll be in heaven. Which I always tell God, like, what's the point of going to heaven when somebody's in hell? And I always revert back to, I don't want to exist. I'm not interested in being a part of your creation. I'm disgusted. I would never put my own creation through anything that you put your creation through. Why create an animal that's going to get slaughtered and cooked? And it's like, we're all cannibals. There's only one state in America that it's illegal for cannibalism. It's like Idaho or something like that, but none of these fast food restaurants own any cattle farms, you know, but they're all affiliated with abortion clinics. So yeah, I mean, people eat people. That's why McDonald's says billions served, because they're serving humans. All this information's out there, you know what I mean? Genetically modified food. People don't even know citric acid is black mold. Look it up. Citric acid is black mold. So I mean, I'm a researcher because I'm an author, so I have to do the research, you know, because citric acid is actually Aspergillus niger, and Aspergillus niger is lab-grown black mold, and it goes on and on and on, like with all of the other chemicals, aspartame, high fructose corn syrup. Those are the simple things, but there's other more complex named ingredients and chemicals. So it's all poison. Ascorbic acid, like, none of this stuff is good for you. They say the FDA approves it in small dosages. People have been taking this their whole life. So they know what they're doing. These are demons. These demons walk among us. No wonder Steven Spielberg, that demon right there, was so excited about his Disclosure Day movie. You know, these demons have walked among us since the beginning. These fallen angels, these demonic entities, they, you know, I don't know. I don't even like to get into it, because I just continue to fight and share what I know and try to lead people to Christ. It's like yesterday I went to the park. It's a park I go to all the time. It's infested with Muslims. Muslims everywhere at this park. Infested with them. And I got like Jesus stickers on my car. And I see that they look at the sticker, they look at me, and they start cussing me out. Just looking at me, they look like straight demons. You know, and it's like, you know what, God, I'm gonna do what you told me to do. God bless them in Jesus' name. You know what I mean? I pray for them. Yahoo will bless them in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach, because I don't want anybody to go to hell. But I absolutely don't really have any respect for none of them, because the information is out there. And if you choose to be ignorant and continue to be in New Ageism, you think you're a remote viewer and you're a psychic and it's all about Christ consciousness, like, or you're in Buddhism, or you're in Hinduism, or you're a Muslim, or you're Jewish, or whatever. If like you're anything other than, if you're somebody who denies that Yahusha came here and died for our sins and was resurrected again, and you don't accept him as the Messiah, as your Savior, you're never going to make it to heaven. You're never going to make it to paradise. And I get it. Like I've told God, like, I don't want to be here. I don't want to be left behind. And I don't deserve to go to heaven. And I just beg him over and over, please just create a third option of non-existence. And I'm sure everybody that's in hell will choose to not exist and instead of being in hell. Because I just feel bad for all the people that are going to hell, because I was, and you are, we're all was supposed to go to hell if we didn't accept Yahushua as our Savior. So yeah, I'm gonna end it there. And if anybody, you know, is a prophet, interprets dreams, and wants to comment, cool.